Okay, so welcome to Henry's SOP for the IncuCyte software. So I'm going to start with scheduling an upcoming scan. First you pick where you've placed your plate in the IncuCyte, tray type, vessel type, and scan. The scan pattern you can then change depending on what wells you're using, or you can create a new one. When you do this, you've got to click apply, and then this is where you label your file name for the IncuCyte. So I'm going to call this You can also load a plate map. You can add one right now, or you can load one you've already made. So once you've done that, you can click apply. If you're the first to use the IncuCyte, you can then choose the interview of scanning. So normally this is 2 hours. Choose a scan time, and this repeats every 24 hours in this case. Then for vessel scheduling, you might need to add a call time, or you might need to move your scan to the back. Okay, so obviously if you make any changes that you didn't mean to make, you can then click reload. To look for a vessel you've already scanned using IncuCyte, use the label name. So I was look at Henry cell adhesion. So I just double click that. It's going to bring up a new window. From here you can use this plate map here. There are grey images, and there's also a numerical value for the confluency of the well, so these darker ones are more confluent. Over here you've got the time, and here, if I wanted to export this, I could right click this, drag it, drop it, or I can export as a movie. But what we're going to do, graph and export, and then we're going to do a microplate graph, and this is going to give me a small graph for each individual well from the start time to the end time. So you can see that. If I want to export the data, all wells, group none, data export. This is again from start time to the end time, which you can change if you want. Choose file name, file location. If you want individual images, so I'm taking 3 images per well. If I wanted them to be split, image 1, image 2, image 3, and you can click this box. Otherwise it will give you an average, and then you just hit export. If you want to make your own graphs using the IncuCyte software, then you can region, custom region, and then you can just click on here, click graph. And as I've got group none, it's going to give an individual graph for each one. If I hit group all, That's the mean and the standard error of the mean, not the standard deviation. So once again, if I wanted to export this, I can either move a graph to a graph, you hold down right click and drag, or I can go image to a Word document, in which case you can hold down right click, drag it, and that should also work. There we go. There we go. But the quality isn't that good. You can also change between calendar mode and time, so that might be more handy. Use this one instead. So within the graph menu, you can also edit the names. So I'm going to call this for example, what was it B4? And then when you drag that onto a new graph, it's going to keep its name. That's this line here. Well, B1 to B4. If you want to look at an image of a certain time point, so maybe you're worried about these big standard deviation lines, you go into calendar mode. So look at that, that was on Wednesday. So we're going to look at this one here, 5 AM on Wednesday the 5th of June. Okay. So 5 AM, Wednesday the 5th of June, image, that's what's going on as well. And you can then try to explain your graph as well. So as well as this, I'm going to explain how to use the scratch assay, which is a unique application of this IncuCyte. So we've got here phase contrast, so you can show initial wound mask on scratch wound mask, and there's a nice one. So this is going to change over time. That's quite cool. And then I'm going to export movie. I'm going to make the time a bit shorter. AVI name. So the only problem with doing movies is that it takes quite a long time. So I'm going to put this on the desktop. This is one file. We'll see how long it's going to take. Hopefully not too long because I've decreased it. So that took too long. Another thing you can go is, if I go to this, you can choose between wound confluence, wound width, or confluence, relative wound. So I'm using wound width. Go look between a short time period. And voila. So a neat thing about already making a plate map is that it's color coordinated here. Another cool thing is if I'm going to group it, I can choose to group replicates and make some graphs. This is going to be a bit confusing, but you're going to be able to see in one graph everything that's going on and all the names, because I've already made a plate map, so I'd definitely suggest to make plate maps. Alright, that's the end of the IncuCyte video. Thanks for watching.